Hello guys, welcome to today's video. So today we'll be continuing with the chapter 2 on the topic of CRM, which is the customer relation management. In the chapter 1 we have discussed the importance of the customer relation management, which is all about the acquiring the customer, retaining the customer, and also trying to get new customer and generating the customer lifetime value as much as possible so that the business will always be profitable. So now in this chapter we'll be discussing about the different models that are there in the market, and based on these models a company can develop their own CRM. So these models will act as a guideline to the companies. Okay. So some of the important models are IDIC model, CRM value chain model, QCI model, PAYNE and FROW'S 5 process model, and GARTNER competency model. So in this video we will be discussing these 5 CRM models which are quite popular in the market. So starting with the IDIC model. The IDIC model was developed by Don Peppers and Martha Rogers in the year 1995. Okay. So just remember the names of this and the year. So what this model emphasizes is on 4 actions that the company or the CRM has to take so that for better efficiency are identify, differentiate, interact, and customize. The first 4 terms consist the term IDIC. So what this model emphasizes are the identify. First you need to identify the customers for your business. Identification of the customer is the key. All the customers in the market are not your actual customers. Only few of them must be there. So it discusses about the segmentation of the customers and then differentiating. As I've just said, in the market so many customers will be there, but then you need to differentiate the customers among them which are actually profitable customers and which are loss making customers. So this is the area where you have to differentiate. And then once you have identified your customers, then you need to develop a model or implement a process where you can interact with the customers efficiently. And the fourth is, depending on the interaction with the customers and the feedback from the market, how you will customize your customer relation management. That is how you adapt your processes and you develop your data. So that is what it discusses about the customize of this IDIC model. So this is a very simple model which is IDIC. If you see how it describes it, this is a kind of a flowchart of what the IDIC model discusses. First is the identify. So it is identify your customers as individuals and let them feel you know them. That is, first you need to identify the market, the customers, and then you need to differentiate the customer based on the value generation and also the needs from the organization. So in the differentiating factor you will see the customers based on the value and also differentiate the customers by their needs from the organization. So need is also important, the customer need. Next is the interaction. So interaction is according how you interact with the customers according to their value and the needs. And then how you customize your products and services to the customer needs. So this is the fourth. So this is identification first, differentiating is the second, which is on the differentiating can be based on the value and the needs. Third is how you interact, and the fourth is how you customize your products and services to customer needs. So the interaction and customization is a feedback, like you interact with the customer and then how you process the information and then customize it is all this model discusses about. So if you are trying to have a simple model of CRM, then you can use this model. This is more of a very general model and does not discusses much in depth. Let's move ahead to the next model. The next model is the CRM value chain model. So this model was developed by the Mr. Francis Buttles. It is also known as the Francis Buttles model. So it was developed by Francis Buttle. And like in this model, what he discusses is like the developing a CRM will consist of the 5 primary stages and the 4 supporting stages. So what are the 5 important stages? Like in the previous IDIC model, we have seen they are having a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is IDIC. So these are the 4 stages which IDIC consists of. Whereas in the CRM, it talks about 9 stages in which 5 are the primary and 4 are the supporting conditions. So what are the primary stages? The 5 primary stages are the customer portfolio analysis. So here you will be identifying your customer based on their needs and values, and also what are the products you are selling. Then the second is the customer intimacy. Third is how you will develop the network with the customers, and then the value proposition development, where you will focus is maximizing the CLV, which is the customer lifetime value. This customer lifetime value we will discuss in our future lectures. And then how you manage the customer life cycle, that is how you identify, differentiate, interact, and then customize. Means this entire is a life cycle of the customer from acquiring to retention of these customers. This also will discuss in future, the customer life cycle. For now, we just remember these are the 5 primary stages in this CRM value chain model. And then it comes the supporting stages. So these are the 5 key stages, and then what are the other things which support these 5 stages? That is, the company needs to concentrate on the leadership and its culture, how you handle the customer data, which is the second, and then the IT, which is the software and the hardware, and the fourth one is the people and processes, which is the HR or the marketing team. So these are the 4 supporting stages which help these 5 primary stages. So the key terms are developed by Frank Buttle's model. It consists of 9 stages, of which 5 are primary and 4 are supporting conditions. If you see the model in a diagrammatic condition, this is how it looks like. So the key term of any CRM is to have a customer profitability. So the end goal is to have a customer profitability. So the 5 primary stages are as shown, which is starting with the customer portfolio analysis, intimacy, then how you develop the network, then the value proposition development, and then managing the customer life cycle. The supporting are the leadership and culture, data and information, people, and the processes. So this is what the CRM value chain discusses. Here the key term is the value, which is there. The value proposition development focuses on the value, which is the customer value. These you will know in our future lectures. The third model which is popular in CRM is the QCI model. QCI is the quality competitiveness index model. So here, which is the QCI. Okay. QCI. So in this QCI model, the more emphasis is given on the quality. Okay, how you ensure the quality of delivering the CRM. Okay, so what is this QIC model was developed by independent specialists across the different organizations. Okay, so this is the developed by independent specialists. And then the another name that is given for the QCI is, it is basically a management model and not a relationship model. It basically describes about the management. Okay, whereas less emphasis on the relationship. Just remember this. So in this, as we have said, the QCI focuses on the quality, and then it's all about the customer management activity. So customer management activity is at the center, and then the other things, which is the retention, acquisition, and then how you penetrate the market, is all how this customer management activity revolves around. If for any organization, there are different environments, which is the external environment and then the internal environment. So the external environment is the market, and what the customer experience is, it consists of the external environment, whereas the internal environment refers to the people and organization of the company, and then the infrastructure, that the customer information database, the technology support, and the process management. This is all internal to the company, and these are the external things. And then how you take the external environment factors, you need to analyze and make a plan of that, and based on that you need to have a customer proposition value development. Okay, you need to emphasize on the customer value generation also, at the same time managing the quality. So this measurement is one of the key which helps you to ensure the quality. Okay, so just remember some of the key terms here in this model, which is the customer management activity is the center. It takes the input from the external environment and the internal environment, and it focuses on the customer value proposition. If you see this customer management activity, how it starts, start from the targeting the customers, then converting the customers, then welcoming and getting to know, delivering the basics, retention activity, and as customer retention is the key, how we are developing the customer value development, and then if at all the customers are dissatisfied, then how you are coping with that, and then how you will win back those customers who are dissatisfied, or you are getting the new customers. So this is a complete cycle, which is the acquiring, retention, and then the satisfaction of the customer with the cycle. Okay. Next model is the PAYNE and FROW'S 5 process model. So this model focuses on the 5 processes. It was developed by Adrian Payne and Penny Frost. So that is why this model name is known as the Payne and Frost model, depending on the second name of these two authors. So what this focuses prioritizes on is the priority is the customer acquisition and the retention. So it says the CRM should focus on the acquiring the customers and then retaining the customers. Once you have acquired the customers and you are able to retain them, that eventually will lead to having a good customer base, that will eventually also lead to customer profitability and the business profitability. So it focuses on the acquiring of the customers and how you retain. So if you are trying to develop a CRM where you're trying to give more emphasis on acquisition and retention, then you should adapt to this model. Core processes in this PAYNE and FROW'S model is the strategy development, value creation, multi-channel integration, performance assessment, and the information management process. Actually, a CRM is divided into 3 types. It is a strategical CRM, operational CRM, and the analytical CRM, if you remember. Or you can go to the chapter 1 of our video to know more about it. So strategic CRM discusses about this, what is the strategy that the company is using, and how you create a value. So these two are a part of the strategical CRM. And then the operational CRM, which focuses on the day-to-day CRM, will have a focus on the multi-channel integration, like how different departments are working together, and then how you assess the performance of that. That is the operational CRM. The third one is the analytical CRM. That is all about how you take the data of the customers and you analyze that. So that is the data with analytical CRM, which focuses on the IT, which is the information management. So in this PAYNE and FROW'S model, you see they are concentrating on all the different types of CRM, and it's a more of a comprehensive model compared to the previous models. So if you see the chart of this PAYNE and FROW'S model, the first one is the strategy development process. Here it discusses about here you need to frame the business vision and which industry you are into, and you have to make a competitive characteristics, and then related to the customer strategy, you need to decide on the customer choice, and then the segment, which segment you are targeting. So this is a part of the strategy development process. Next is the value creation. In the value creation, you need to discuss about the value proposition and how you will assess the value, and then accordingly you need to discuss the economics of how much expenditure you are putting on getting the customers, and then how much amount is spent for retaining the customers. So this forms the basis of the value creation process. And then this is a strategical CRM. Okay. And the second one is the third one is the multi-channel integration process, where the different departments like the sales force, marketing, your customer agents, and the social media, how these are integrated, and then how these are actually giving the results, that is due to performance analysis. And then this is what this operational CRM is. So this model discusses about the operational CRM also. And the third one, which is the analytical CRM, is also covered in this, which is the IT management, which is the data repository, or it discusses about the IT systems, the tools that are you are using for analyzing the customer data, the type of applications you are using, the front end applications and the back end applications. So if you see, this is a comprehensive model, and this is one of the best models to be adapted by company, which is the PAYNE and the FROW'S 5 process model. Strategy development, value creation, multi-channel integration, performance assessment process, and then the information management model. Next, the final model which we are discussing is the Gartner competency model. It was developed by the company which is the Gartner Inc. Okay, so it is a IT company or a consultant company. So it says that this model says that the companies needs to have competency in the 8 areas. It says that they have to focus and they need to have a good competency in the 8 areas, which are the CRM vision, the strategy, the customer value experience, and how the organizational collaboration, the CRM processes that are adapted, the CRM information, technology, and the CRM metrics. So for any company who are trying to develop a better CRM, they need to have competency into 8 areas. That is the leadership, the value proposition. Here you can see all the things are there. The important things are the customer lifecycle management, knowledge management, the technology which you are using for that is the IT development, and then there is this economy. Here the CRM metrics, the cost to serve the customer, the satisfaction and the social cost, how the data analysis is done. So all these things, the competency model discusses in depth about the each area of the CRM. So this chart is very clear, and read this chart, go through this, you will understand the chart better and the model better. So these are some of the 5 CRM models which we have discussed. I suggest you to go through this all 5 models and then get an understanding of how these models are developed and how each model focuses on different areas. Once you understand this model, then you will understand the future chapters and the CRM better. So if you have liked the video, I suggest you to hit the like button and comment below your ideas, and thank you for watching the